All right, guys, raise your hand and be honest. Were you one of the contingent of Aggies that doubted Coach Mike Elko's recruiting ability when Texas A&M hired him? That was the one question, the one concern with Mike Elko as soon as he put pen to paper and became the next head coach at Texas A&M. I think many Aggies believed that whichever coach was selected throughout this coaching search, or the coaching search was like 4 or 5 months ago now, that you would probably see some improvement on the field, whether it's philosophy or culture or improving special teams, getting a special teams coordinator, maybe some portal improvements. I think most fans anticipated some level of improvement there because that's where we saw shortcomings over the last couple of years. But could the next coach, Mike Elko, recruit at a level even close to what Jimbo Fisher had accomplished at A&M? Because let's face it, when you're in the SEC, to fight with the big dogs, you got to recruit with the big dogs. And if you get Elko and everything else improves, but recruiting kind of takes a dip and you're not able to get to that top 10, top 15 level that Jimbo is consistently at, doesn't really maybe matter what you're doing if you don't have the tools. Well, guys, Mike Elko is absolutely cooking now. He answered the question a little bit with the portal, getting the 24 guys, number 2 rated class in the country, exceeded expectations in the portal by far, by a wide margin. And of course, we talked about it. You had some places to refill. You had a lot of spots that were open that needed to be replenished through the portal. But you went above and beyond with that, and you signed an amazing portal class. But now, Elko is piecing together an amazing 2025 high school recruiting class. Over the weekend, by now you've heard about it, 2 cornerstone monumental additions by way of commitments of 2025 high school players. One out of the always valuable offensive tackle position in Marcus Garcia out of Denton, and the other one in the very highly coveted quarterback out of California in Hussan Longstreet. Just massive. You're talking about a cornerstone type of player, type of recruit in Longstreet. We'll talk about him in a minute. But right now, I want to talk big picture about Elko. So we talked about it over the first few months. Elko's done nothing but impress in his very short tenure. And of course, I'll keep saying it. Nothing is definitive. Nothing is stamped in. And nothing is truly successful until you start winning some football games in the fall. But looking at it right now, with the staff, the portal, and now recruiting, in addition to all that, the buzz he's built around the program, the way he has formed a sense of togetherness amongst the athletic department in always mentioning other sport programs that are doing very, very well right now, whether it's the baseball team, number 1 in the country, the golf team, the tennis team, the swimming team, whatever. Elko is bringing us all together in addition to what he's doing in the Bright Complex, recruiting players, building the staff. He's done it all. I can't tell you one place where I have been disappointed in the early days of Mike Elko or where I felt that we're coming up short at all in the early days of Mike Elko. I was asked in my call-in show last week, what are some red flags you've seen early in Elko's tenure? And I tried to be as objective as possible on this show, and I really had trouble bringing up any early red flags. And of course, the one question mark that many Aggies had, like I mentioned at the beginning of the show, was can he recruit? Well, now he's taking these big stepping stones, these big pieces, these big cornerstones is the right word, and he is turning the corner in the recruiting class. At every recruiting class, there's always a moment or a weekend or a visit weekend or a event, whether it's the pool party or what have you, where you feel like a class rounds the corner. I feel like this class is rounding the corner early and in a big way with the commitment of Hussan Longstreet, with the cherry on top of Marcus Garcia. So I think we all expected some improvement in philosophy, some culture, the rumblings that we've heard. That stuff is there. But let me ask you this. What if Elko can bring us all of that and maintain Jimbo Fisher's level of recruiting at the program? We could be talking about Elko being the coach to awaken what many people deemed A&M is, and that's a sleeping giant. Is he the guy to do it? Is he doing it right now before our very eyes? There are a lot of national talking heads right now that are very high on Texas A&M, cautiously high on Texas A&M. I think they've been burned in the past before, just like we have. You and I have been burned by Texas A&M, of course. But some of these guys are coming around. Some guys that are typically very down on A&M are really coming around to Mike Elko right about now. So Hussan Longstreet, Marcus Garcia. Obviously, with Marcus Garcia, you're talking about a versatile player, 6'5", talking about a guy with speed for his size, a guy that's known for his ability and his willingness to get up and go and find guys to block in the open field, whether he's pulling or if it's in the screen game. It's the kind of guy that can move around, and that's something that Collin Klein's going to love to have in his program. And then Hussan Longstreet, by now when you're talking about Hussan, you're talking about arm talent. You're talking about the ability to throw on the run. You're talking about the ability to cover a lot of ground quickly with just the flick of an arm. He's that kind of a quarterback. Pro-level upside easily, and he's easily a guy that you could deem a future quarterback at A&M. Like when a guy like that enters the program, it's similar to when a guy like Connor Wigman enters the program. It's a guy, it's only a matter of time. That's the kind of quarterback that A&M just got a commitment from. So if you're thinking about the future of A&M right now, you're thinking about the next 3-4 years. You have your quarterback in this class. You're building some offensive line together in this class now. And don't forget the previous class, the 2024 class, it was a very small class. But what you did do there was put together a complete offensive line haul. Despite the decommitments you got there, you still put together a great offensive line class in 2024. So you have an offensive future shaping out under Collin Klein right now. And you know this is the guy that Klein wanted. This is the guy a lot of programs wanted. And that's always a testament to the talent that the guy is. Oregon, Auburn, places that like a running quarterback typically. And Hussan, he's a guy that throws on the run more so than is just a scrambler. If you're going to call him a scrambler, you have to throw out the caveat that there's nothing taken away from this guy's arm. If he's a dual threat's probably the better phrase than scrambler to describe him. But you're not taking anything away from the arm talent in describing him that way. This is the full package right here, guys. And he has a full senior year of tape to put on for us. We're about to enjoy it and hopefully see him get that 5th star rating. But A&M and Elko are cooking, man. A&M and Elko are cooking. I don't have much else to say besides that. I'm just envisioning a program that puts together better day-to-day philosophy, culture, ideologies, but is now also recruiting at the highest possible level. And that's without Daddy Saban down the road, man. That's without that colossal obstacle that's there every year. You're talking about a Bama who's still going to be very strong and recruit with the best of them, but not this huge mountain to climb. And yeah, Georgia's still there and Texas is joining, but we're showing right now that we can recruit with Texas, and Georgia's still on a level that no one else is really going to knock off anytime soon, but that's just one team. So you're showing that you're recruiting with the best in the SEC right now. A&M is currently ranked 14th in the 247 composite. Higher in other metrics. I always go by the composite. That is set to climb quite a bit with how much more room A&M has to operate right now. And keep in mind, Elko is still working from behind here. Elko is still late to the 2025 game. He spent the last couple years at Duke, man. I mean, we all know. It's been a while since Elko was here, and he was here before. And it's just crazy to see him cover so much ground so quickly. So, guys, I just wanted to get on here today, gloat about Elko, talk about what maybe he's building and what he could become. I could not be more high on this football program right now. I had to break out the rowback. This is the in-season shirt for Drew Tamu. This is the shirt I wear during my post-game reactions or during my weekly game day stuff. It's a big day. It's a big weekend for A&M athletics. I mean, did y'all watch the baseball series? Knocking off Vandy like they were a non-con team. The only thing more impressive than the score this weekend, which I think was like 36-6, is A&M's record, which is even more pristine than that score. I think A&M is 34-4 right now. This baseball team is coming for it all this year. So this is just exciting times in the world of Aggie athletics, Aggie football, Aggie baseball, softball, track and field, swimming, golfing, tennis. Everything is sky high right now. And A&M is becoming what we all know it can become, and that is the premier athletic program in Texas. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Gig 'em.